Hey everyone, it's the one and only here, coming to you live with a highly anticipated video. This is going to differ from my regular format style of videos since this is rather a strange product for Apple. Apple announced their own credit card, touted as a credit card created by Apple, not a bank, back in March, and since then a lot of people have been intrigued about this mystical new card because it's just such a strange thing for Apple to do. But while it may seem strange to some, it's actually a good move by Apple and is sure to please shareholders and make their stock perform better, especially now that their iPhone sales are dwindling. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to apply, approval odds, and some of the basic things you should know before applying for the Apple credit card. As with all credit cards, they can be extremely useful and get you certain benefits just for using it in a responsible fashion. So without further ado, get ready to dive into Apple's venture into the consumer credit card market. Roll the intro. So first things first, inevitably there will still be hundreds of questions you guys may have, as there is so much about the Apple credit card that it's hard to include every little detail in one video. As such, I'll be doing a follow-up video once I get the titanium card in the mail and after using the card with Apple Pay, basically to get a feel for it and give you guys a full in-depth review. So if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel with bell notifications so that you don't miss it. Also, follow me on social media and shoot me a DM if you have any questions about the application process or how to use your card. Alright, now that we have that out of the way, let's begin. So how can you get the Apple credit card? Currently, as of the recording of this video, the availability of the Apple credit card is reserved only to a select few who sign up for Apple to notify them of updates pertaining to the Apple card. All you had to do was go to Apple's website and click the Notify Me button and enter your email. As to how Apple selects who can test the card out first beats me, but it seems it is being rolled out at a modest pace and will eventually be available for all to apply later this month as long as you're over 18. As of now, this is a US product only but may expand internationally in the future. In order to apply, first you must update your iPhone to iOS 12.4. So if your iPhone is jailbroken and you are planning to apply, Apple hit you with their infamous yeet yet again. You can apply one of two ways. Either click your invitation email link and it will redirect you to apply, or hit the plus button within the Wallet app and you'll see an option for the Apple credit card. The application itself is painfully simple. Much of my information was already pre-filled because of my Apple ID. All I really had to enter was my annual income and the last 4 digits to my social security number. Once you enter all your personal info, you'll be prompted to read their terms and conditions, which outline interest rates and such. Which, speaking of, the Apple credit card has an annual percentage rate of between 12.99% to 23.99% depending on your credit worthiness, and by no means are these rates spectacular. They're actually pretty average. Now, even though Apple says it was created by them and not a bank, it's kind of redundant and misleading to say, as every single credit card must have an issuing bank to work, and Apple nudged their elbow at a well-known bank called Goldman Sachs, which will be the bank responsible for handling much of the back end of your typical everyday financial transactions. This card as well will be co-branded with MasterCard and not Visa, but at least here in the US, MasterCard is almost always readily accepted just as much as Visa, so you shouldn't have any problems with merchants accepting your card. Goldman Sachs pulls your TransUnion report, which here in the US is one of the 3 main credit bureaus, also including Equifax and Experian. But it is important to note that with all major credit cards, your credit will receive a hard credit inquiry when applying for this card. Be careful, as this metric takes up 10% of your score's makeup, so having too many inquiries does drop your credit temporarily. Luckily, each inquiry does drop off your credit report after about 2 years. I was approved for a $6,500 limit and a 17.99% interest rate, which kind of surprised me as the APR is closer to the higher end than what I was expecting, but I don't plan on carrying a balance on this thing either way, so it doesn't matter all that much to me. A very important thing to know, and what I feel is to be the sole reason a lot of people will pick up this card, is to flex with the new titanium card. Once my application was approved, I was asked to confirm my mailing address and that my card will arrive within 6 to 8 business days. Now this titanium card screams luxury, and a lot of other credit cards make their premium cards out of similar materials like stainless steel to attract people to that elusive metal card. American Express does this with their platinum and gold card, as does the Chase Sapphire Preferred, just to name a few. You might be wondering what it takes to actually get approved. You must have fair to decent credit in order to be approved, but there are other factors that also contribute to your approval odds, such as income and if you have any past delinquencies on your credit report. For the most part though, it's hard to tell what credit pool Goldman Sachs is approving, since there's such a small number of people being invited to apply at the moment. Most banks or lenders label your score into one of 4 categories, ranging from poor to excellent, with poor falling in between a credit score of 300 to 600 and excellent being 780 plus up to 850. It's fair to say Goldman Sachs won't be approving you if you have what is considered poor credit, or even on the lower end of fair credit, which is normally categorized between a score of 600 to 660. If you have good credit and you are approved, then congratulations, you are ready to use your Apple credit card right away through the wallet app. Now of course, the hallmark feature of this card is that it lives and breathes within your iPhone. It is there when you need it and has some really nice technological features to it that other cards just don't have at the moment, like letting you know how much interest you are likely to pay and how to avoid interest charges altogether. All of that I'll go over in my official hands-on review once my physical card arrives, but in a nutshell, the best feature, which is actually pretty lackluster, is that it carries 3% cashback when used to purchase items directly from Apple, whether it be at a physical store or at the Apple online store, and even counts for purchases made on iCloud storage and even Apple Music, as long as it is billed through Apple. So I know for sure I'll be moving my Apple Music subscription to be paid with this Apple credit card. 2% cashback when purchasing anything through Apple Pay, meaning using Face ID, Touch ID, or your passcode at any NFC terminal or online. And lastly, 1% cashback on everything else. That 1% is pitiful, but better than nothing when you're at a location that doesn't accept Apple Pay, and that is when you go boss mode and flex that shiny new card. And speaking of the card, it has no numbers or expiration date whatsoever to speak of. This measure was made to not only give their card that minimalistic look Apple is known for, but also aid in deterring credit card theft, as the heart of the card is on your phone. So even if you lose your card, you can simply report it lost on your iPhone, and it renders that physical card completely useless, which is useful. As I mentioned, one nice perk about the cashback is it is dubbed daily cash, and is exactly what it sounds like. Most credit cards wait until the end of your statement cycle to reward you with those coveted points, but Apple gives it to you on a daily basis, and when you receive them, that cashback is ready to be used instantly as cash. Whether you want to use that to help with your credit card payment or Apple Cash it to a buddy, it's up to you. However, aside from those features, the Apple credit card lags drastically and pales in comparison to other well-known cards with much better features. For example, I like using my Chase Freedom Unlimited to get 1.5% unlimited cashback on everything, regardless of how I use the card. I like using my American Express Gold card because it gives a whopping 4 times points on US restaurants, and prefer my American Express Platinum for the 5 times points when booking flights directly with an airline. It really makes the card not as appealing, especially since there is no welcome offer to speak of, as most cards try to lure you in with receiving $250 or so when spending $1,000 in the first 3 months, nor does the card have any kind of 0% promotional APR on balance transfers or purchases. I'll definitely brush up on this more in depth on the official hands-on review. The fact it lives in your wallet app and is all mostly driven electronically is huge, especially for tech nerds like myself. You can see your due date, pay your card, and even contact customer support straight through your phone with minimal effort. Your credit card number and expiration date are found here on your phone rather than on the physical card, and it can all be checked up on here. It's also neat and organized and is straightforward and easy to understand. One category it does edge out on is the no fees department. While some cards like the Amex Platinum have a very steep $550 annual fee, the Apple credit card has no annual fee, no foreign transaction fees, or balance transfer fees to speak of, which is excellent for those looking to get a credit card with decent rewards and perks while not having to pay to carry that luxury. It's this coupled with the consumer-friendly array of features that easily distinguishes the Apple credit card as a beast of its own kind. It's a very unique product that is sure to make make Apple an even bigger giant it already is. The Apple credit card is far from being perfect. As a matter of fact, I think the Apple credit card is actually a pretty average card. It's not too appealing to me other than the ease of use for it within my iPhone, and will make a welcome addition into my Apple ecosystem. But therein lies the problem. If you don't have an iPhone, aren't too heavily invested into Apple's walled gardens, or happen to lose your phone, then it'll be hard to want to get this card. There are some drawbacks and limitations to this card, but also some other neat and interesting features about this card that I will soon cover. As I said, make sure to subscribe so you won't miss it, and I hope this video served as a good introduction into what the Apple credit card is all about and whether you should apply or not. Recommending a tech gadget to someone is easier than recommending a credit card to someone because everyone's financial life can differ quite drastically from one person to another. Some people despise credit cards and can ruin you financially, while others know how to take advantage of all the good perks and welcome offers that come along with credit cards. So make sure to stay tuned for my hands-on review on this bad boy once I have some time using it and get the physical card, so I can give you honest advice and more insight into everything the Apple credit card has to offer. If you found this video useful, smash that like button, and I can't wait to catch you all in my next video. Peace out.